of Vidya Degree College and convener, co-convener of this seminar, seminar organized by the organizers and my dear colleagues and students. So today I want to present a brief research paper on the topic of intellectual property rights in India. What are the opportunities and challenges with this act? I want to present everything. So actually, intellectual property rights, it has its origin year 500 BC in Greek. The city name is Sybaris in the Greek 500 BC era. This intellectual property rights tax has been originated. It is a complex and fascinated in Greek state. So at that time, the citizens have to obtain a 1 year patent at that time. 1 year patent for any new refinement in luxury. That is the benefit given to them at that time in the form of patent, trademark and copyright. These are the laws that have been existed. This is the starting origin of the intellectual property rights, and then second stage of evolution of intellectual property rights originated in European countries in 14th century. First of all, Venice can be considered as the cradle for intellectual property rights systems that has originated. Then the inaugural one is that 1856 Act also, which is based on British patent system. It has provided a broad framework regarding the what contains the Intellectual Property Rights Act. Okay. Then when come to the new era, the era of LPG era, with liberalization, the challenge was bigger than before because exposure the whole world in a global village, and with that intellectual property rights gains very what is called a new origin and a development for the inventors and who are the people really want to make something new to the society. That becomes very important. So with the liberalization, to protect the intellectual property rights, international market level to achieve exclusively for production and distribution of goods and services, it has been make wide publicity around the world. And for that also one development took place international level, that is United Nations level. They declared one Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In that resolution, Article 27, which states that every citizen has the right to protect of the moral and material interests resulting from any scientific, literary, or artistic production of which he is the author. This is the internationally acclaimed right to the patent, this is intellectual property rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 27, which emphasizes on the importance of the intellectual property rights. That is one. So in the morning session, Professor Srinivas sir and the professors, they explained very well different types of intellectual property rights, from trademarks to copyrights, patents, design. These are the things. And some of the acts I want to add is that different types of intellectual property rights in India. We have Copyrights Act 1957. In the morning session, he keynote address elaborated the content of the Copyrights Act. Example, we can see a literary or dramatic or musical work of that owner is authorized intellectual property rights to claim that he is the original creator of that service or product. Okay, according to the Copyrights Act 1957. Then Trademarks Act 1999. This is also one trademark as a mark capable of being represented graphically, which is capable of distinguishing the goods and services of one person from those of others. It includes shape of goods, their packagings and combination of colors, like the morning sessions are told Apple having some emblem and Airtel. These are the graphic designs also having the intellectual property rights, which have been protected by the Trademarks Act. In India, it is a signatory to the mandate protocol under which a trademark can be applied for and registered internationally. That is why we have that opportunity through this International Property Rights Act. Then Patents Act 1970, which is the basis for the evolution of intellectual property rights in India. Is that right? The Patent Act bestows an inventor whose patent has been registered with certain rights. What are the, namely, with respect to a patent for a product, right to prevent third parties from using, selling or making, importing, etc. the product without prior consent of the product owner. That is the Patent Act gives what is protection. Then India is also signatory to the Patents Cooperation Treaty, which permits an application for registration of International Patent Act. That is another brief thing. And Design Act 2000 also, which also gives some implications regarding how to make designs for products, etc., which protects creators' rights, inventors' rights. Geographical indications of goods, Registration and Protection Act 1999. Geographical indication is defined as the indication which is identifying such goods and agricultural goods, natural goods or manufactured goods as originating manufactured in the territory of country. For example, you can see in the Baibur Nagar, Balanagar is famous for custard apple. So that is a patent belongs to the geographical area. And like in Gajwel also, for example, famous for Makabutta. These are the geographical indications which can claim for the Patent Act. Okay, this is the thing. Then Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001, in which also farmers can get some rights over their indigenous and domestic made patents over their seeds and plants, whatever it is invented. So these are the brief history of the evolution of the intellectual property rights in India. So what are the opportunities we are having with this intellectual property rights? That is the main concern in my research topic is that it has to enhance our export opportunities. Because we invented something, a product, so it can be sent international market due to LPG policy. We can export to other countries and we can get the profits. That is one opportunity we are having with IPRs. And intellectual property protections in India, which gives us to, particularly in the pharma sector, we have got more patents. Recently, biotechnology, Pfizer and other companies, they have patents over this COVID vaccination, etc. That is also one opportunity in which we are the forefront. Because of intellectual property rights, we are gaining exports, and which is we are guiding international to other countries vaccination. That is. Then private sector also gaining very much importance due to intellectual properties, because they are inventing money in the research and development activity. Crores of rupees they are spending because they can invent new things and new products in which they can market it. That is the one opportunity we are having. So future of IPR in India will depend on three things. One is awareness, because in the Munisam in the morning session says that in India we have IPRs only 30,000, whereas in European countries we have lakhs of patents they are having. Because of lack of awareness on Indian population, and that is one lack. We can overcome that. Then stronger enforcement is needed. The law enforcement is to really protect the inventors' rights. Then at the same time, national interest will not be compromised. These are the things should be taken into consideration to protect our intellectual property rights. Then, what are the benefits we get intellectual property rights? We benefit enhance market value, and we can participate in the competition regarding the production and distribution of goods, etc. And turn ideas, thoughts into profit-making assets. Business means we want to get profit. So to enter in that field, we want to invest something, we get a profit. For that, we should be given protection by the way of intellectual property. That is why our efforts, inventors, most of the whatever they spend time, we should not be neglected. That is one. And turn ideas and thoughts into profit-making assets. Market your products and services internationally, globally, because of WTO agreement, GATT agreement, and LPG policy. Access or raise capital also because of installing the market, entering into the stock market, listing of companies international level. So this is also one advantage to us. These are the things, benefits we should get through intellectual property rights awareness among the citizens or manufacturers of our country. So some challenges also we are facing because of intellectual property rights. Violations are rife because of poor enforcement of rights, and court cases that could be takes long time to resolve any disputes comes into the legal issues. Courts can delay the process to deal with the intellectual property rights. That's one thing. And United States State Representatives priority watch list, they also give some protection rights of American companies, but that was lacking in our India. That is one challenge we are having. And Indian government has been reluctant to enforce IPR to protect the interest to Indian citizens in some instances. For example, compulsory licensing, and the government can enforce the patent owner or get someone else to mass produce an essential drug in emergency. That is why we are unable to enforce the law stringent. That is the one worrying thing we are having. And sir also there what Sai Reddy sir market session said that why we are poor in Patents Act because of this. That thing. Traditional knowledge and products acquired over the centuries using local know-how have been kept out of the reach of patents. This is also one other reason. And with this 2-3 things we want to overcome and to be addressed by our policy makers. Then, what is the future forward? Government should take initiative regarding the awareness of the Intellectual Property Rights Acts. They have to aware, like these are seminars, symposiums will be conducted on the entrepreneur level and university level to educate the students and startup companies, etc. And further, we should get more benefit from the intellectual property rights because we are the world's largest, second populous country and emerging economy, sixth economy in the world. That is why we should get more benefit from this IPR Act. This is my brief conclusion, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. What is the validity for the geographical intellectual property rights?
Valid, ma'am. According to Patent Act, 2 years.
I think it's 20. Years has the patents, not for the geographical.
1 year.
It is 10 years. 10 years.
Next we request Dr. Sunaina. Now we request Dr. Sunaina Das to present her paper. So Dr. Sunaina Das is from Stanley Degree and PG College, and her paper is on basic conceptual overview of ideas.
A very good afternoon to one and all. I thank the BGR College Principal Madam, staff members, and all the dear students, and my HOD ma'am, and all my faculty members, and all students for giving this opportunity. So my topic is basically a conceptual study which has already been discussed about it. But the main aim was to bring a highlight about the intellectual property rights, which has been not much known to the general public as such. So this was basically an idea to show you the main objectives. So before going to the depth of the topic, basically, what are the main objectives of my study? The topic is, next slide, the overview of the intellectual property rights is a conceptual study. So before I start my paper, the first quote, it comes to my mind saying that intellectual property has a shelf life of banana. The most important thing is about intellectual property versus creative expression in the copyright. Law was created not to stifle creativity but to encourage the creativity. The main thing idea about is, as you know, the technology is improving, but we are just having a lot of copying things happening around us. Not only in the education sector, but all the ways. We are hiding the things, but preparing as if we are not hiding the things. So just start with my topic now. The main objective of my study was the first objective to give a theoretical framework and overview of what exactly is intellectual property right and what is the need and the possibility of protection and security of intellectual property rights. This is a basic abstract about the main origin. I'm talking about the adoption and advantages and the disadvantages of intellectual property rights. Next slide. So basically, I have just explained, just to categorize, to a brief understand what you mean by intellectual. Is nothing but talks about the creativity, the ideas. The property is nothing but the property of a particular person. So here I have just defined themselves a grant of individuals' control over them. The next is what exactly. When we combine the two words, we say intellectual property. Something about intellectual, you have your own idea and it's your property, you have to safeguard yourself. But how safeguard can happen only when the government can have a control on it. But government is also doing their own work, but in the same way, how exactly we can control the particular intellectual property. The next thing is that we have highlighted what exactly rights. So we as an individual, the person who are inventors, you have a right to protect their own the creativity and the ideas behind it. So next thing is, what is the basic origin? So this origin we already been told about is way back, very old, from 6th century. The first thing was being highlighted about the bakery. This was being, idea was come up by why exactly we should have intellectual property right. This was being basically about in the Greece, when a bakery. Bakery, as you know that you have pastries, you have bread, you have some kind of formula there. As you take example of Karachi Bakery, you can take example of KFC, you can take example, so we have some formula around it. The basic idea was highlighted from the Greece, and later on we have jumped up, so many years we have around it about it. So we had, coming to the 17th, 18th century, we have given importance about 19th and now 21st century. As liberalization, we have LPG, we're talking about LPG is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Has entered into a market where people should think about the creativity and to safeguard our own decisions and ideas behind it. Next slide. The basic thing, the concepts, so already this has been covered. The basic need, so what's the need is, why exactly we should go for this? The main need is what? To safeguard. The need, safeguard, next one. Concepts, so basically talks about the concepts, about the base thing, 4 things about the intellectual property rights, talk about the main 4, before slide. So we have the main patents, trademarks, copyrights and trade secrets. The 4 main categories are more talked in the market. But we have, so basically my scope of the study, only studying about within India. So we have, the topic is such a large that it's just like an ocean. So my topic is only covering to within India. So this is what, I have the few things, next slide sir. So we have a number of rights which are being, the first one about the copyrights. The next thing is the trademarks, patents and design act, geographical thing, protection, semiconductor integrated circuit layout in 2000. So this, after 2000, as you think, the IT sector had a great boom from 2000 and present. So IT sector, as we think that so much thing is open to us, everything is open to us, but what to tap and how can we can give, see, as you know, technology, we have some password, we have protection. Suppose you want to withdraw some money, again we have OTP. So wherever you go, we have some kind of password, some kind of protection. Same thing should be applied to the intellectual property rights. Next slide, sir. So basically the tips of how to safeguard the intellectual property right is about document your discoveries, digital right management systems, offer non-digital agreements, okay? Then creating strong access credentials. So whenever you want to download some information also, the sites will tell you that, okay, if you want to download, you have to have some permission. Otherwise, it's not allowed and you cannot download any kind of information. The same thing should be done for the all. Next slide, sir. So this sort of adoption is why exactly? Why we have adopted is nothing but, the game changer is nothing but TRIPS. The TRIPS talks about the trade-related aspect of intellectual property rights, who has given a game changer as we say, India has ruralized, privatized and globalized. So TRIPS has given a game changer for a kick for a startup economy. Next slide, please. So next, so these are objectives that are covered. Next one. So basically, I told you the scope of study is my secondary data. So I have not collected any primary data. It was just to give a conceptual effect, how far, what is the origin behind it, what are the protection you can give it, and what is the basic advantage, what are the benefits. Next slide, please. So benefits, I just read out from here. Can I? The basic advantaging is enabling indirect revenues. So revenue is nothing but the profit which government can earn. Promotion of culture. There should be some kind of, as we are following some culture around of, it can be anywhere. It can be education area, it can be a technology area. Dissemination of technical information, facilitating technology transfer, open source reliance for IPR. That means when you are open to so much, some kind of restriction should be given so that people follow that with some kind of subscription. So whenever you want to subscribe any kind of YouTube, definitely they say that you just put a bell icon and subscribe and you are subscribed. So here the same thing also, there should be some kind of restriction around there, and there should be a collateral, one-to-one, that government should be open to the public as well as they should also protect the public at large. What are disadvantages? The disadvantage is additional cost. It's an additional cost for the government, and pirating, as you think that we say that everything is protected, but it's not at all protected. People are making it more pricey and reduce quality. So we are reducing the quality also. So see that the quality is also being there. Taking off. Last, I want to conclude my paper. Conclusion is that different types of intellectual property rights exist in India, enabling a person to secure protection for its assets. It is honored to provide a worldwide recognition and protection of the intellectual property rights recognized in India. India has actively joined numerous conventions and treaties to preserve commodities that symbolize India's heritage, agriculture, history, and flora. Several conventions has promoted India to create new laws such as Plant Variety Act. So Plant Variety Act is not even talk about the agriculture area, as the first and foremost sector of India is agriculture. So it should be abundantly clear about the point that intellectual property right protection is crucial in the modern world to safeguard your own creativity, literary and inventions. A business or organization can only differentiate itself from competing business in the market thanks to protection to provide IP Act. Therefore, obtaining IP protection, taking use of advantages is strongly advised. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dr. Sunena, for bringing us about telling us about concepts in brief and bringing out the importance of this particular act, Intellectual Property Act. Very good, thank you. Now we have Ms. Sagarika Das from PG College, Osmania University. Our topic, I think, is Artificial Intelligence and IPR, Gateway to Future. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, please come.
Dignitaries on the dais, my dear colleagues and dear students. A very good evening to everyone.
Well, from morning onwards, we are revolving around one topic: intellectual property rights, intellectual property rights. Well, when I got this brochure, I wanted to do something new and something which is going on presently in the market, and that's how my topic is artificial intelligence and intellectual property rights, a gateway to the future. As we all know that presently we are in a state where technology is leading us. The state we have left it behind, where we used to